Hello and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is James Parker and I am a professional landscape photographer in Vancouver, Washington. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll notice that I haven't posted any videos in several weeks. And the reality is I've just been extremely busy. I just got back from a 2-week workshop that I was running in Japan. And then after I got back, I had another workshop that was another 5 days, and I just finished that and got back in the office. Well, this week I wanted to do something that's been on my mind a minute, and there's been several YouTube photographers that have posted about it as well, and I just wanted to put my spin on it. So this video is going to be about the realities of a YouTube photographer. Originally, I'd gone out in the gorge and spent all day vlogging and recording this video. And then when I got home and took a look at the footage and some of the images that I came away with, I realized that it was pretty awful. So here we are. I've had my YouTube channel for a few years now, and I really like making videos. I really enjoy it. And if you've thought about starting a photography YouTube channel, or what a typical day is, or what goes into making a video, what all is involved, then I think you'll find this video interesting. So when I started my YouTube channel, the first thing I realized was I would have to buy more equipment. I already had 2 camera bodies, but I didn't want to have to carry that second large body when I'm hiking 5 miles into the forest or up a mountain in order to do my video. So I had to get some extra gear. I went with all the DJI equipment. I went with the DJI Pocket series with their wireless mic, and I carried a small additional tripod so that I could set it up and have it record me remotely. In addition to the extra gear that you're either going to have to carry or buy, if you're going to do anything in your home office, you're going to have lighting. You're going to have monitor systems in order to see your framing and what you're photographing, what you're videoing. And you're also going to have some software, additional software, in order to edit that video. If you're like me, I had never dealt in video and editing anything. I'd always just use Lightroom and Photoshop. At first, I thought I would go with the Adobe Creative Cloud and use Adobe Premiere, and then I quickly realized that it was like way over my head, and I just didn't need all that extra expense for the monthly subscription, nor did I need all the power that Adobe Premiere offered. There are numerous pieces of video editing software and suites that you can either buy, you can subscribe to, or even get for free. DaVinci Resolve is one of the ones that's free, and it does a fantastic job. But again, the learning curve was kind of high. So I ended up with a piece of software from Wondershare called Filmora. And I found it to be the perfect blend of easy to use, intuitive, with really quick results that I really liked. And I've been with it since I started my YouTube channel, and I really, really like it. Another thing to think about as far as things that I had to do when I started my channel was I had to get extra hard drives, because video files, if you're shooting in 4K, which I do, are huge, and it takes up a lot of space. So now that you've got all of the extra video equipment that you're going to be toting around, you've got the lights for your studio, you've got the wireless mics for your studio, you've got all of the software for the video editing and the hard drives to store it all on. Now you have to learn it all, and suddenly you become an audio engineer and a video editor, and you start thinking about framing, and you're thinking about transitions, and you're thinking about B-roll, or you're thinking about how to put it all together. And don't forget, the music that you listen to in the background in all of the videos, that has to be sourced. You have to listen to it, you have to pick it, you have to find out if there's royalties involved, if there's any copyright infringements that are going to happen, because YouTube checks that and will give you a strike, and give you a little demonetize your video, or take it away, or even hide it, depending on how severe it is. You can't just pick a song and put it in your video. So luckily, YouTube offers a big library of royalty-free music that you can use, and when you add it to your video, YouTube, when it reviews your video for content, it will go ahead and put in your description, it'll put the music and attribute it to the right artist. Because I think that's really, really important as an artist, that we don't cut corners and steal someone else's music, because we wouldn't want them to steal our photographs. Next thing I want to talk about is probably what I think is more important than all of the gear aspect and the having to learn software. But that is when you add the element of video to your work or to your time out in the field, something has to give. And if you're going to do a video, you're going to take a lot more time than if you just go out with your camera and you walk and you enjoy nothing but photography. I plan my outings based on places that I think would make a good video and my odds of coming away with a good photograph. When I first started my YouTube channel, I had made a decision at the very beginning that I wasn't going to do any B-roll. And if you don't know what B-roll is, that's the footage, the video footage that is kind of like the connecting elements. You getting out of your car, you unpacking your camera bag, you walking down a trail, you setting up your camera, putting it away, all of that. And originally I said, I'm not going to do it because it just takes too much time and I just didn't want to have to mess with it. So I didn't do much or any when I first started, but as I began to learn how to make videos and I got better with the software, I realized that it did add substantially. I really enjoy watching a video that does have some B-roll in it. And so I started to include some. The biggest downside to B-roll is what I'd already said. It's the amount of time that it adds to the day and the project and the outing. Having to get out of the car, set everything up, start the video, and then redo everything that you just did to film it, then check it to make sure that you got what you wanted, and then turn the camera off, and then pack everything back up so that you can walk down the trail, and then to set it all back up again to do it over and over as you go, it just takes a lot of time. And with that said, I can honestly say that I've missed the light on more than one occasion because it took me longer than I thought it would to do the B-roll. And by the time that I got or realized that the light was changing or the light was kicking off, I wasn't in place. I wasn't ready, and I was very frustrated with myself. It's aggravating. So that brings us to the next little bit, the next tip or con, I should say, the next detractor from doing YouTube as a photographer. And that is it takes away from your photography. When you're going out and you're videoing, you're not doing photography. You're doing something entirely different. And there's a certain amount of stress that goes with that because, again, I've missed shots. I've missed the light because I was doing video instead of going to where I needed to photograph. So despite all of that, I really love making videos. I love to teach, and that's the reason that I even started a YouTube channel. It wasn't to garner millions of followers. It wasn't to make a living off of YouTube, and it wasn't to do anything other than to showcase my images, my business, and the way that I teach. Because I really enjoy leading landscape photography workshops. I love collaborating with other photographers. I have a really great time every time I go out with other photographers, and I always learn something. And so having that camaraderie with others that are like-minded and enjoy landscape photography is just a lot of fun. YouTube allows me to showcase my outings and the style of teaching that I do and the quality of the images that I have, as well as advertise about my workshops. And it gives me a really, really nice platform. And like I say, I really like making the videos. So that brings me to the final point. If you follow any of the bigger names on YouTube as far as landscape photographers go, Nigel Danson or Thomas Heaton, Adam Gibbs, Gavin Hardcastle, Nick Page. Those guys are fantastic photographers and they produce amazing content. But they've all recently posted about their, I don't know how to describe it, their challenges with YouTube and trying to maintain to keep ahead of that algorithm so that their views stay up, so that their subscriber base continues to grow, and that constant pressure of having to create content over and over and over and over. When I first started my YouTube channel, I made it a point that I was promised myself that I was going to do it at least for a year, and I was going to release a video every single week. And that was hard. That first year, it was hard to release a video every single week because there was no time off. There was constantly having to have something in the can that was ready to be released every single week. But I made a promise to myself that if I was going to do it, I was going to do it for at least a year. And I did. And then the thing that struck me was I didn't want it to consume me because, again, I didn't want to burn out on it. I didn't want to get aggravated with it to the point of I'm not going to do it anymore, because I really enjoyed making the videos, but I just didn't enjoy having to do it because of some other outside external force. I wanted to do it when I wanted to do it. When I had something to say, when I had a product that I was excited about, I'd do a few reviews here and there about things that I think are good or bad enough for you to stay away from. And then for the most part, it's about my adventures and when I go out and when I shoot. And I really, really like sharing that. But I'm not going to be caught in that victim of your own success. And I don't have any illusions of being close to having any kind of subscriber base like Thomas Heaton and Nigel Danson and all of those guys. They have, you know, so many more subscribers, and their income, there's probably a substantial amount of it comes from YouTube. But for me, YouTube is, even though my channel's monetized barely, I don't really care. I don't ever want it to become a driving factor in my photography. So I just do it because I enjoy it. So I would caution that if you do start it, that you have a plan or a thought process in your background. If you become a runaway with success, what are you going to do? Are you going to have to follow that YouTube algorithm and chase after that constantly because it's become such an integral part of your income? Or can you do without that income or ignore it so that you can just focus on what you really love to do? Because it can easily become, you know, you can become the dog that catches the car, and you're successful, and now you're stuck, because if you stop producing those videos, or people become fickle, or you produce a few videos that just aren't that great and the viewership falls off, YouTube's algorithm is going to go, and it's not going to be promoting your content like it used to. And unlike your business, if you're a professional photographer and you make money at this, you have no control over what YouTube does or doesn't do, or who they put your content in front of. You have zero control over it. And I don't ever want to be dependent upon something that I cannot control at all for any portion of my income that I consider important. As I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of YouTube photographers that I follow that have released videos expressing the same kind of concerns, frustrations, and challenges that I talked about in this video. If you'd like to check those out, I'll leave a link to each one of them below. It's really interesting, I think, to see so many of the respected people in the community are all saying kind of the same thing. Also, I'd love to hear your comments below, especially when it comes to social media and the attention span of the consumers and who's really benefiting from it. When I don't do Instagram, for instance, because I don't find that the scrolling people that are going to help my business at all, and I'm not interested in people just doing this and maybe going thumbs up, hot emoji, thumbs up, hot emoji, and they're not spending any kind of, I'm not getting anything from that, if that makes any sense at all. I'm getting nothing. With YouTube, at least I'm being able to express myself in a more purposeful manner that actually communicates ideas and concepts instead of this. Now, granted, people can just click off the video, and if they do, that's fine as well. But as long as I continue to enjoy making the videos, which I do, and since I'm not really concerned about the monetary aspect or the subscriber aspect or any aspect of it other than I enjoy doing it, I'm going to continue making videos. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. I plan on getting out a lot this summer. I've got trips planned. I've got some workshops planned. I've got one to, I'm going to be doing some Milky Way photography in July. I'm doing the bald eagles around Puget Sound in June. And if you're interested in any of my workshops, make sure you check out my website, www.jamesparkerphoto.com, or you can just send me an email. I'll leave that below as well. And I'll be sure to answer any questions that you might have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.